original boat.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Rhino.
That's me. That is me, Ryan, in Sacktown. We did it. We did it. It is Friday. It is the weekend. Welcome in to the King's Court. We got a full show for you. It's a Royal Rumble Friday. We're brought to you by Bennett's Westside Grill in Rockland. Get to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Check out all their locations. Weekend brunch. Go get it this weekend. Mimosa, it's 2 entrees. Great special, under $50. Also, prime rib. Don't forget about the prime rib. Bane, what's up, my man? Happy Friday to you as well. It's a Royal Rumble Friday. That means you can get in on the show. At the end of the show, we bring in as many people, and we've had up to what's the record? I think 9. 9 is the record. Can we get there today? What do you think, Bane? You think we're getting to 9? We will see. We got about a 90-minute show for you. We're coming back 5 o'clock. Grant and I are going to be together. Get you ready for the weekend with NFL, college football previews. I bet we'll talk a little bit about the A's as well. A big topic here in Sacramento. And I think there's a tie there. I'm going to save this for 5 p.m. Not necessarily going to get into it right now. But I think there could be a tie to this whole situation on how this started. And it's a whim. I have not vetted it. I have not done any type of reporting on this matter. In fact, KFBK, Grant talked about it yesterday. They've done a great job on this story. But definitely Mark Dembski, I should say, specifically has done a great job on the story. But there might be a little tie. Like, you wonder, why would Vivek let the A's come here rent-free? Rent-free. That's interesting, right? Well, the news came out yesterday that the A's, or the Players Union, I should say, is going to file some grievances about baseball in Sacramento. Now, that doesn't put 2025 at risk. However, it does put any years past that. And, let's be honest about it. The A's, it's such a fluid situation. There's not even a guarantee they're going to be in Vegas, right? So I wouldn't even guarantee they'd be here past 2025 if we didn't have any of this reporting. So who knows? Wild situation with that franchise. I know Grant hit on it on his 4 o'clock show yesterday. So make sure you join us again, 5 o'clock. We will be back. Huge thanks to Bennett for sponsoring the show today. There's only really one place to start, and it's right here. And there's one massive story out of this game last night, which, by the way, what a terrible game. There was no energy from Miami from the beginning. Body language wasn't there. Tua was a little bit off. Obviously, that's what we're going to get into in a second. But credit to Buffalo. Defense shows up. You look at the offensive stats. Miami outgained them 351 to 247 offensively. Now, granted, again, Buffalo defensively, they cleaned up. Not much for their offense to do. Hell, if the offense blows that game, you got a problem. That being said, the Dolphins suffer a huge loss, and I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about Tua Tagovailoa. What to say about this, right? It's one of those things. I talked at the beginning of the week about Aaron Rodgers and how I felt like watching him, it was a little bit hard because I was kind of on edge. Every time he dropped back, I'm thinking, something going to happen? Is that Achilles going to pop? You've only played 4 plays in 2 years, basically. And, Tua, completely different situation. Look, our knees, they can be repaired. Our ankles can be repaired. Bones, ligaments, tendons usually can be repaired. One thing that can't, at least as we stand right now, that's your brain. Tua had 3 really bad concussions, 3 known really bad concussions before this, and they were scary sights. In fact, many of you have seen the video. I'm not going to play the video here of any of them, but he was, they call it, I forget what it's called, jousting or fencing. Fencing, that's what they call it. But, his limbs are extended, pointed at awkward directions. And so Tua kind of is in that same boat. You watch him play, and coming into this year, he had lost some weight, which was interesting to me. He took some weight off, which is fine. Look, these guys change their bodies all the time for reasons that we will likely not understand because we're not trainers. The professionals are in charge of these guys and the strength programs that they take on. But he had also done some training because after the 3 concussions, everybody's like, is he going to retire? There was some question marks about, he actually said, let's be blunt about it. He did say that he considered it briefly, but then the next thing to that is, okay, well, how's he going to protect himself? Because one of the things that Tua brings to the game is the ability to get out of the pocket. And if you're worried about a head injury, you're going to want to stay in the pocket. And granted, a head injury could happen anywhere on an NFL field, but particularly when the quarterbacks take off and run. So Tua did some training to protect himself, learning more about that in that sense. And he made it through a season without any other head injuries, right? And so it's not that we turned a page, but I think we kind of, at least speaking for myself, I'm like, all right, well, he's got it figured out, at least as well as he can. It's a Royal Rumble Friday, so I'm going to give you this analogy, right? I'm going to give you this one. Brian Danielson, he had to retire from the WWE because of head injuries, because of neck injuries, and it was a forced retirement. He ends up coming back years later, and in order to come back, he completely changed his ring style. In fact, he had to change around his signature moves to where usually when he would do them, he'd land on his back, take a bump, whatever it's called. And now he's doing things where he's bouncing off the ropes and landing on his feet, protecting that area of his body. And so we get through that season with no head injuries. And you're like, all right, well, Tua's got it figured out, kind of like Brian Danielson has it figured out. And then we get to last night, third quarter, Miami already playing terrible. Tua had already thrown a few interceptions, and this happened.
By 21 points, 4th and 4. Pressure. Tua steps up. He's going to run for the first down and takes a shot at the 6-yard line. Hamlin hit him, and Tua down. Picked up the first, split the seam, but pays the price.
Immediately, Tua gets back into, and not by choice, but he's in that fencing position. And the one thing I'm going to say is Tua, if you look at that hit, Tua is really the one that initiated it. And I get that the defense tackles, but Tua put his head down. He was trying to get that first down. It was a 4th down, or it was a 3rd down play, excuse me. And so the lineman, or was it a 4th down? Help me out there. Pick me up in the chat. It was, oh, no, he did get the first down. That's what it was. It was 4th down. So anyways, one of his linemen comes over, stands over him, protects him. People start taking a knee. We immediately know the score. And Al Michaels, I've got something for you here in a little bit. Luckily, though, Tua was able to get up after the commercial break. When they panned to the sideline, he looked like he was completely out of it. And within 6 minutes of the play, they had already ruled him out, which was a no-brainer, right? And no pun intended there. But if you saw the play, you knew he was knocked out. It was scary. In fact, you see him come to. I was tweeting about it live. I was like, his wrist is straight out again, which was terrifying. And I'm thinking, how the hell is Al Michaels not seeing this? Like, what is Al Michaels looking at? And again, Al, I'm going to get to you in a minute, buddy. But Tua, he goes to the locker room, out for the game. The game's over for Miami at that point. And all attention, really. You look at the building, you look at the players. The game was deflated because this transforms football. Football is football. These guys want to win, but it's also a brotherhood. They also have lives. They're people. It's a game. And I know that's hard for us non-professionals sometimes to understand, but it's a game. It is their job. And, they see a brother like that has given everything to this game. The fact that he's still playing tells you something, right? He's laying it on the line for his teammates. And so before you know it, the game is over. And again, everybody worried about Tua. Yeah, I want to get to the comments because you guys are putting some good stuff in there really quick. Yeah, smiley face down. I get it, Bane. To be honest, when when Tua ran into Hamlin head to chest, I was nervous for both of them. Yeah, isn't that ironic, right? Really ironic. Rich, what's up, man? Welcome into the Royal Rumble Friday. Ryan, I know you're talking about Tua, but the Guardian cap won't do squat in NASCAR, MLB, NFL, and NHL. Won't stop the brain from bouncing around. This is not going to change anything, physical sports or physical sports. So I'm so glad that you said that, Rich, because now everybody, and I mean everybody, is a Monday morning quarterback, right? Well, why isn't Tua wearing a Guardian cap? Why isn't Tua doing this? Why didn't he retire? Tua should retire. Look, we've got to let this process play out. I think that everybody is jumping to a conclusion because they care, right? Isn't that the sign that you care? If you're given a response or you're engaging, you're worried about this guy. You're thinking beyond the sport. So I'm not going to question Tua for not wearing a Guardian cap. Now, I might question, I think it's fair to question, and Bane talked about it, the decision making of putting your head down when you're dealing with his history of concussions. I can't say that I would have done the same, but again, I've played sports all my life. In the heat of the moment, sometimes you just do things. You're like, damn, what was I thinking after that? But in this case, Tua's probably not even going to remember what he was thinking. So Mike McDaniel, after the game, was immediately asked about his interactions with Tua. Here is what he had to say.
Locker room, obviously I talked to him on the field, and then talked to him in the locker room before he was headed home. He was in good spirits.
What was your immediate thought when you saw him go down and into the fencing position?
My thought was concern, and I was just worried about my guy. So, yeah, not something that you ever want to be a part of. You hope not to.
Absolutely not. And I think, as I'm echoing here, as I'm seeing here in the chat, getting your reactions, I think that's kind of where everybody was at, bigger than football. I mean, it was good to hear. I was shocked with his history that they let him get up. And that's for the medical professionals. That was just something that surprised me. I am not questioning what they did. I was happy to see Tua get up because the head injury is one thing. You look at that replay, the way his neck contorted. Your neck should not contort like that. And as Rich kind of points out, when you're playing physical sports, and there is one gentleman that I watch online that's a doctor that breaks down some of these injuries in real time. And there's a consistent thing he talks about when it comes to these injuries. And it's the fact that the brain is expecting the body to keep going forward. And then it just hits a flat wall. It hits a stop and it can't. That's where the brain shaking comes in. And if you watch the replay even more, Tua hits his head on the back of the turf, which is twice as bad. And that had happened at least one other time with his concussions. Rich hopping in. Chris Benoit had the brain of an 80-year-old at the time of his death. Yep. That's a definite hot subject there. Chris Benoit to this day. Bane, agree. I think training / mindset stuff is useful, but 4th and 4 game, especially on the line, man, he's going to go head first every time. But is he? See, I don't know. I guess, yeah, if you've already got 3 concussions, and I'm not saying, oh, I'm pot committed. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to the first down. But I think that tells you in his spirit the type of player he is. When, like I said, anybody that's watching this show right now, if you've played a sport, if you've ever done something competitively, sometimes your instincts take over. Instincts sometimes react before the brain. And obviously, that's the type of player, at least that's the type of player Tua appears to be. Skylar Johnson, the backup quarterback for Miami, came in, finished the game. He got his first action, by the way, since he didn't even play all of last year, did not get a snap, which is a good thing, right? That means Tua's on the field. But he really set the echo and he set the tone of what that locker room was about. And I think what he said after the game, when he was at the press conference taking questions, really summed up how a lot of people were feeling both in the moment and after the game. Here's Skylar Johnson.
What makes me sick, you know, and I think anyone for the human eye, you know, like it sucks. You know, in my position, you never want to have your opportunity come with something like that, you know, and have a lot of love for Tua. Built a great relationship with him, and yeah, you know, you care about the person more than the player. And you know, everybody in the organization would say the same thing. And so, just really, you know, praying for Tua, and you know, hopefully everything will come out all right. So.
And that's where things kind of stand right now. We've got some audio from Mike McDaniels that we're going to hear in a second from this morning. But I'm looking at the chat, and that's what I'm seeing. And I'm glad to see it. Another part of the problem with the NFL, yes, it is faster, but the equipment is lighter too, which allows for bigger hits and other injuries. So, Rich, dude, you're bringing up some great freaking Rich, you know what? I'm going to let Ron say it.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
This is escalating into a great conversation. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that I have argued for a while with people around the game of football or people that cover it. Those guys are bigger, stronger, faster in most times. And I'm not saying the pads that they're using aren't better than what's available to any of us, but they're certainly not wearing as much protection, or at least they do not appear to be wearing as much protection. You look at some guys, a lot of times they don't even wear leg pads. You see defensive linemen that barely have shoulder pads on. Quarterbacks, same thing. Receivers, quarterback shoulder pads are a little bit bigger. But it's a great point, Rich. And anybody today, I'm sick of seeing the mainstream media and anybody talking about NFL rule changes. We already hit the Guardian cap thing. Well, he should have been wearing one. Why aren't more players wearing them? It's a choice. It's their bodies. It's their life. You know? And so it is a funny argument, though, Rich. It is, because they have the most advanced technology out there by far. They're tracking players with GPS. They're looking at speed. They're running analytics to literally calculate. The Kings, by the way, if you don't know this, Monty McNair has an entire analytics team. So what they do is they put all the numbers in, and it spits out what percentage, and I'm paraphrasing here and giving you a broad 30,000 foot view, but it spits out basically where the athlete is playing at. What is he optimizing at? Is he about 87%, 90%? That's how they gauge it based on all the numbers. So if they have that technology, I get it. It's a choice, though. That's the problem. Flores hopping in on the situation. Feels bad for Tua. I think him and his family will have to make a decision on whether or not he continues playing in the NFL. Yeah, look, that's to come. Tua's in the protocol. In fact, Mike McDaniel spoke to the media today. That's a very good transition. Good job by you, Flores. Mike McDaniel spoke today about it, and here's what he had to say about Tua and the protocol.
You know, first and foremost, like,
I'm not assessing the injury through the lens of like, all right, so what does this mean for him playing? And so what I know and to be of the utmost importance and what I really care about, it it didn't really matter the severity of it. I think this is something that it's super important to like all the science behind concussions tells you what we've learned is how delicate the time is right after an injury, and how important it is that you don't institute extra sources of anxiety. So from my vantage point, I feel it's supremely important that in understanding that I'm not giving off any sort of vibes. I'm not trying to even look at, okay, well, how serious is this relative to his past.
So that was Mike McDaniels talking about it this morning. Right now, it's just recovery for him. It's not having those conversations. And as we heard at the start of the show, he was up walking around. Mike McDaniels said he looked fine going home. He was in good spirits, but early in the process for sure. And certainly, I don't think it takes an expert to realize this isn't going to be your status quo concussion protocol, not from a sense of what the NFL is going to put Tua through, but what he is likely going to seek out before he makes a decision on his future, whether he keeps playing or not. Remember, he just got that huge contract extension. Credit to the Miami Dolphins for doing that. How much worse would we be feeling today if Tua didn't have that right now in his back pocket? So, and again, that's a tangent. I don't want to get there, but that's where we sit. So I want to get your reaction. Yeah, Mark. So it was a pretty, and I don't want to undersell it, or I don't want to sound insensitive, but to me, the play was fairly benign. It looked like a pretty normal football play. In fact, DeMar Hamlin looks like he kind of pulls back a little bit. It's almost like DeMar did not want to smack him, in my opinion. But to his head, ran into, it looked like DeMar's arm and kind of his chest. He was not carted off, but he was definitely knocked out. He had the fencing positions. He had extremities that were at different angles, fingers clenched in weird angles. In fact, if you look at some of the pictures of him trying to get up and the doctor stopping him, to his hand is actually like this, and he's trying to push himself up like that. So that's why those doctors get on the field as fast as they can. Rich hopping in. Jackie Slater was a Hall of Fame left tackle for the Rams. It's 277 pounds. Trent Williams, 314. Slater would be a defensive end. Yeah, they just get bigger, faster, and stronger. And in fact, I talked about this. I don't know if it was on this show or another show, but when Trent Williams was walking off to get his IV on Monday night, you looked at his lower half. He wasn't wearing any damn pads. I'm thinking, my goodness. And it looks like Trent skipped a couple leg days. Sorry, Trent. Got to call it as I see it. In fact, let's go to the judges. Did he skip some leg days?
Bingo.
Judges said he did. Rich, in a concussion, or if a concussion is visible on field, should be held out a minimum of 2 games. No head injury should be avoided. Well, okay. This is where we get into the gray area, though. I don't think we should be talking rule changes because of this hit, because of Tua's situation, because everybody's different. But the gray area, Rich, is what about the concussions that aren't diagnosed? And I know that there's independent neurologists on the sidelines. I know there's spotters up in the box looking for signs of concussions, but these guys have been playing football all of their lives. If they are down and they're basically down for the count, they look like they're dizzy, they're swaying, they are really, really dinged up. I'm not talking power slap dinged up. They are dinged up, but because they've played football all their lives, Grant talks about this with his lacrosse days. He knows that he had concussions, knowing what we know now, but he didn't realize it was one. These guys definitely probably know if something, they're a little bit loopy, seeing a few stars a lot of times. And credit to some players, because this is changing and they've taken some heat. They've gotten praised, but they've gotten some from the fans too that have pulled themselves out of the game and said, look, it wasn't feeling right. It didn't feel right. And then everybody's like, well, I didn't see anything weird. Well, yeah, because he's not, swaying around. He's not showing the signs. So it opens up that whole thing. Because how do you police it? Should they go to 2 games? Maybe. But again, I go back to the first comment, Rich, that you put in. It's a violent sport. It's a physical sport. What are you going to do? And I'll stand by this. I'll stand by it all show. I'll stand by it next week, the week after. The Guardian caps, any protective gear. As of right now, it's a choice. Now, I'm sure the NFL has some type of protocols, just like if anybody's been in a professional locker room, they always have a printout that has what your uniform's supposed to look like, what you're supposed to be wearing. I'm sure there are guidelines when it comes to, and I get that's more of a team thing. The teams have to look alike, but maybe there aren't. I don't know. I know there's guidelines of certain things that have to be worn, helmets, shoulder pads, right? But is there any type of policies about pads and size of pads? And does it even matter? That's the thing. I mean, we're so new into this era of head injuries and players being aware. Aaron Donald retiring early, Calvin Johnson retiring early, Andrew Luck retiring early. Mark hopping in there. Wow. Yeah. So to the Dolphins and their quarterback situation, Mike McDaniels was asked this morning about what they're going to do there. Again, Skylar Johnson stepped in last night for Tua in relief. Here is what Mike McDaniels had to say this morning.
The team and the organization are very confident in Skylar, and see, there was a reason he was our backup quarterback. That being said, we will bring in someone. We're just evaluating the pros and cons for the different situations and getting through all those possibilities to do the best thing for the team. But as it stands today, I'm expecting that Skylar is the next man up.
So we'll continue to watch what the Miami Dolphins do. I appreciate the approach that they're taking, person first, not player first. They're not going to rush anything with Tua. And just like before, the decision's going to be in his hands. But look, this guy has made enough money. It's generational. You guys know how I don't like that word because it gets thrown around way too much. It's generational money. In that sense, it's okay to use. And he's got kids. He's got a wife. What's his quality of life going to look like down the road? And again, his decision. So the one thing that I will say is if Tua hangs it up, I will support him. If Tua decides to play again, I will support him. It's his decision. As long as the medical reports, everything like that lines up. If the team allows him to go out there strongly against medical advice, now we're talking about maybe a different situation, but we got to give this time. And in fact, I don't know that this is not going to go past this season. I don't know that you'll see Tua again this season. I just don't. He might need that much time to rest. And remember, you could not have a concussion history at all, and you could get one concussion and have post-concussion syndrome, which can linger for a month, 2 months, 3 months, sensitivity to light, dizziness. migraine, headaches, nausea. So again, we're less than 24 hours out from this. And I really appreciate, by the way, the y'all get it. The conversation we are having right now is very good. Like I can tell the tone of the show. I see the tone of the comments, as funny as that sounds. And the reason I'm praising you, because there was one person last night that just didn't seem to get it. And quite frankly, he just didn't seem like he wanted to be there at all. That's Al Michaels. And by the way, if you guys want to call the show, you can get in on the conversation. I'll put the link again here in the chat. It's posted on the top of the YouTube chat. If you're watching on X, I see 253 have checked in at some point here on the King's Court. You can scan the QR code right there. Would love to have you on the show. In fact, we're going to wrap up today with a Royal Rumble Friday, which means we'll bring up as many of you as you would like. And I'm sure, too, that Haunted Horse guy, I hate to say that name, Haunted Horse, because it's like, say his name and he appears. Watch, he's going to show up now. But he'll probably be dropping in at some point. He likes Fridays. So get in on the show. Would love to have you. So Al Michaels, from the start of the game. Now, look, Al Michaels, my man, you are a living legend. You are. You called the Miracle on Ice. Quite frankly, one of the best calls of all time. Ask Grant where that stands on his list of calls, right? Well, this dude is checked out. He is completely checked out. And it's not just last night. And this is my opinion, by the way. It's not. Yeah, you got that? There you go. I believe too. I would have it as a drop, but it's going to get flagged so quick. I know it will. But anyways, Al Michaels, this Kirk Herbstreit Michaels combination, Thursday Night Football, it's really not meshing well. And I don't know if it's because Al Michaels is now lower energy and Kirk is a little bit more straightforward, right? Kirk's great with college football, and you can tell there's a different chemistry between Kirk and Fowler on ESPN. Totally is, and understandably so. They've worked together for so long, but it just really hasn't been, at least for me, meshing well. But last night, I know it was a warm night in Miami, right? Al Michaels started the broadcast. He's already got his top tie button unbuttoned, right? And so I'm looking around the X, and I didn't really give it a second thought. He's Al Michaels. He can do whatever the hell he wants, right? But then I'm looking around, and Brian Weber, somebody who I respect in the business, somebody who has guest hosted many times for the Jim Rome show, he put something online about it. And I'm like, okay, interesting, right? Well, the entire first half, the most emotion and care that you got out of Al Michaels was about the kickoffs. Clearly, Al Michaels is not a fan of the new kickoffs. What's up, Bella? How you doing? Bella, you know, I'm actually getting a new grill next week. Next week it starts. So that is due to decay. For those wondering, my mouth is behind the mic because of my hip surgeries. I was on a very strong medication that causes extreme acid in your body, which can cause problems with your teeth. So my teeth will be fixed before the basketball season. My two hips were worth giving up my teeth for about a year and a half, and you can't see a dentist for 2 years after 2 hip replacements. Anyways, good to see you, Bella. Hope you're doing well, seriously. Anyways, getting back to Al Michaels. This guy clearly not a fan of the kickoff rule. And so then we get to the second half, and it's whatever. Al's kind of just doing his thing, and at times the broadcast was fine. But then the Tua play happens. For those that missed it, I'm going to play it one more time. This was the play where Tua got hurt. And listen to Al. He clearly sees that something is wrong with Tua, or at least it sounds like he clearly sees that something is wrong with Tua.
By 21 points, 4th and 4. Pressure. Tua steps up. He's going to run for the first down and takes a shot at the 6-yard line. Hamlin hit him, and Tua down. Picked up the first, split the seam, but pays the price.
That was an awkward drop, Al. Anyways, do you not know Tua's history, Al? Do you not know that he's had 3 really bad concussions? 3 terrible concussions? That some think he shouldn't be playing football right now? Well, I get that the game's a blowout, Al. I get there's not a lot to talk about. I get that's where you have to get creative. I get that's where chemistry comes into play to make the broadcast interesting. And yes, those of you that had action on the game, the end of the game was significant to you. The over-under was 48. Total score was 41 as Miami was driving at the end of the game, 4th down red zone play. But throughout the second half, and it wasn't just one time, it was multiple times, 2, 3, I want to say almost 4 times, Al Michaels did not talk at all about the energy in the stadium, completely ignoring that, completely ignoring that the oxygen, the energy is out of the players. You can clearly see it. And he's talking about, well, the Dolphins have a long week. They got a long week, so Tua can probably get through protocol. That should help Tua getting through protocol. What? Are you serious, Al Michaels? Like, you're talking about protocol. This dude was just ruled out of the game 6 minutes after the hit. And we're talking about protocol. He's in fencing positions on the field. And all you can focus on is a couple of extra days to benefit Tua passing protocol? Nothing about his well-being? It was so awkward that when you got to the post-game show, did anybody catch the post-game show? Completely somber. These guys that played in the NFL, Sherman, Whitworth, they knew the gravity of what was going on. And quite frankly, Al, I can't excuse it for you because you weren't a player. No, I can't, because you've called so many games. This goes back to, you remember the Chargers come back in the playoff, or the Jags come back in the playoffs against the Chargers? Al took a ton of shit for that call too. Just low energy, did not care. So you know what? If you want to collect your paycheck, if you still want to call football games and don't really care and just want to half-ass it, that's cool. But know the room. Imagine if Al was on the call during the Damar Hamlin situation. What if that happened last night? It was just sickening to me. It was terrible. Al, dude, you're clearly into gambling. Clearly. Your ears perk up anytime the points are right around the over-under. Go join your buddy Brent Musburger in Vegas, which, by the way, to Brent's credit, Brent left calling games to go follow his passion. Which is sports gambling. He's doing great. He's got awesome studios inside of the casino. His network's doing great. Awesome. Al, go join Brent. Get the hell out of the booth on Thursday Night Football with that garbage. It really pissed me off. So would love to know where you all come out on that. Let's get back to your comments really quick. Dennis, what's up, man? Welcome in. Let's see. Rich, Al Michaels, call of Super Bowl 52 was incredibly frustrating. I don't remember it because I've started not listening for the most part, but last night I was listening because of the Tua situation. And again, it was before the Tua situation. He sounded like a grumpy old man. And you know what? I hate using that term because grumpy old men, that's like one of the funniest movies out there. Grumpy Old Men 2 or Grumpier Old Men. Great movies. Al, if you're going to be grumpy, be funny, my man. But no, another touchback. Oh, that's like 80% now. Who cares, Al? Oh, this one's just going to be out on 30. In fact, Al's talking about how to fix the kickoff rule. Hey, how about we put the kickers back another 10 yards? That'll do it. Al, you clearly want contact. You are clearly watching and at the games for the wrong reasons, my man. And how can you say not? with how he handled the Tua situation. It was bad. Passing protocol. Get out of here. Extra days to pass protocol. My man. Am I the only one here? Give me your reaction. We'll get to that in a second. Let's get our first call of the day in. Corn Dog, my man, the co-leader in our fantasy football.
Currently not, because I picked the Dolphins, and my opponent, who is tied with me, picked the Bills.
Nice. All right. Well,
second.
So I picked up a game on you, is what you're saying.
I am currently second.
All right. Love it. Love it for me, at least. I picked the Bills.
Congratulations to the Bills. Congratulations to James Cook owners in fantasy football.
Crazy, right?
Oh.
3 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, crazy game for him. He just had his way. I mean, sorry if you're playing against the James Cook owner this week. You might start already counting your losses and quote Bill Belichick on the Cincinnati.
Dude, I assumed. I didn't even look at my fantasy team. I just assumed that I was playing against James Cook last night. In fact, I haven't looked now. I bet I am playing against him. It's just how it rolls.
Yeah, well, last week I had go against a dude who had Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. So I did not. I had a good week because I did have Saquon, but it was 2v1 pretty much.
Gotcha. So you fired up about college football?
Oh boy, am I ever. It is a good week. We got some old-fashioned rivalries, the Apple Cup, we have the Civil War, we have the Colorado State, we got some big out of conference games, the Wisconsin Bama. We have the conference non-conference game tonight between the Arizona Wildcats and the Kansas State Wildcats. This match was made before Arizona went to the Big 12, but they did not want to change their schedule, so it is 2 conference teams playing a non-conference game. It is scheduled as a non-conference.
Nice.
Yes, this
for those that don't know,
time you will ever hear those words, probably for the foreseeable future, unless more crazy realignment stuff happens where that happens. But
so for those that
first time, maybe the only time where you hear a non-conference conference game.
Those that don't know, Corn Dog's kind of the college football guy around here. It's his thing, and women's volleyball. So allegedly he likes how they
as well. The college women's volleyball season has started as well. We've had some great games there, actually. We've had Wisconsin play Texas, 2 of the top 4 teams from last season, and then Texas is playing Stanford Sunday as well, and that is another top 10 matchup.
Sweet. You're talking a different language right now for me. I just can't get into it. There's too many other good things going on.
Oh man, I got into it because I felt basketball was just bad for me last year. If the Kings just weren't where I wanted them to be, obviously maybe this could be fixed. But and then the NFL just I've just not been a fan of the quarterback play of recently. I mean, I feel like they have so many rules for them, and then some of them still struggle, to hit 4,000 yards or even struggle to hit 30 touchdowns. I'm like, come on. You guys cannot have all this stuff catered for you guys and still just struggle.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Yes, the rules are quarterback friendly, but the pass rushes these days are incredible.
They even get an extra game and they still can't even hit 30 touchdowns.
Okay, but here's the other thing, dude. You're 1 week into the season. You're 1 week. I know running the ball was way up last week. Defenses are usually ahead of offenses.
Last season too, man. Like I think it was like week 4. Me and a coworker were like, "Man, dude, this quarterback play is just not it."
Well, it's an ever-changing league. The quarterbacks, they're making a lot of money. We have a story in a little bit about, we're going to update the Deshaun Watson situation.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, not really, but yeah.
I mean, it depends how you view good. Like to me, it's just a juicy story.
Yeah, if you're a Browns fan, yeah. In fact, if you are a Browns fan, let me know how you're feeling about that. Like, even if another allegation didn't pop up, how are you feeling about Deshaun Watson as your $230 million guy?
As a guy that you also traded all these picks for.
Yep. It's crazy. You know, I said it earlier this week. This generation, this current generation of quarterbacks, no matter what he does in Cleveland, they're still going to be thanking him because of that guaranteed money. And I know it's still kind of an outlier, but you're seeing more and more guys begin to get closer and closer contracts to what he got with the guaranteed money. Dak got 221 guaranteed.
Yeah, about.
So, okay, college football really quick. Going to jump back. If there's one game to watch this weekend, which one is it?
Oh, one game. It is the Wisconsin-Alabama game. That is going to be the best environment. That is, you got Alabama, new head coach coming into Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin. That is the game to watch. That is going to be jam-packed. Camp Randall's going to be on fire. You got to watch the pregame show too, because the Wisconsin's got one of the best fan bases. That is, and if they show it, they show the jump around at the start of the fourth quarter. I hope they do, because that's going to be wild. Because if it's a close game and it's at that point, I would put everything on Wisconsin if you can make a fourth quarter bet. If it's a close game at that point,
sure, you can make one somewhere, man. In-game betting is a thing. It is here. You can bet at NBA arenas in some cities.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. And if it is close, and especially if Wisconsin has a lead going into, I will put everything on Wisconsin. I will not care. Yeah, if it's within a one score, I think Wisconsin will pull that one out.
All right, I like it.
If Bama's dominating at that point, I obviously not. But yeah, if it's close, I will go on Wisconsin. It's going to be fun to me tomorrow because my supervisor's a Bama fan, and I'm going to be wearing the Wisconsin face stickers.
You're wearing face stickers to work? Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've been doing it the last 2 weeks.
This guy, I love it, my
the
man.
Georgia ones, the Texas one. I'm literally just doing it to rag on Bama fans. I got Auburn ones lined up, Tennessee, Oklahoma.
That's hilarious. Being a troll and enjoying it. Hey, really quick, Pac-12. My Aztecs headed to the Pac-12. Boise State headed to the Pac-12. Fresno State and what was it? Colorado State.
Yep, it is Pac State Conference.
The Mountain West is morphing in. Basically, the cream of the crop in the Mountain West is morphing into the Pac-12.
So this is fantastic. Obviously, the Pac still needs 2 more teams to stay a conference, though.
Right.
And I think the targets are going to either show up with whatever happens with the ACC with their kind of politics and their stuff, or it may end up being I think they want the Bay Area market back, and if Cal and Stanford don't try to pull out the ACC, I think they're going to try and go with San Jose State, and I think they're going to reach to the Sun Belt team, Texas State Bobcats.
See, I think that lessens what they're trying to do if they do that. I really like what Mark just put out there. Gonzaga in St. Mary's. I love that.
No, they're not going to do a basketball-only move. No. I'm sorry that is not be feasible. Not saying Gonzaga and St. Mary's would be great for Pac basketball, but they will not do this solely based off of basketball only and have no football revenue from those schools.
I know we've got a ton of people from Sacramento watching this. Sac State, I know there's rumblings about them going to the Pac-12. It is not happening.
Yeah.
If Sac State goes to another conference, it's going to be the Mountain West.
Yeah, they would have to dip their feet in the Mountain West first and see if they can actually compete at the Group of 5 level. What the level Sac State at, or like a UC Davis is at, it's still D1, but it is not even at the Group of 5 level, and to jump all the way to a Pac level. And yeah, the Pac isn't, as strong as it was, but if they have to play Boise and Washington State and Oregon State and San Diego State and Fresno State every year, and they're just getting dog walked, it's not going to be good. And
First, and not just that, they don't have the facilities. From a
Yeah.
basketball standpoint, it's more or less, and no disrespect to Sac State or anybody that plays there or goes to school there, it's closer to a high school gym than it is a college arena.
Yeah, pretty close. There's maybe even obviously there's some high schools that are really well funded that are probably better.
Yeah,
especially some of those Texas schools.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Though Mark is not wrong though. From a basketball standpoint,
would be great, but they will not make a basketball only move. They're just not going to happen, especially because they are looking for TV contracts. And by the way, because this network lost basketball recently, TNT will be in the market for college football.
Interesting.
They actually did buy the rights to some games that ESPN owned this year. They are actually paying ESPN just to be able to have a couple of these big profile games. I can't remember which ones they were off the top of my head. I have to look into that. But yeah, TNT is in the market, and if the Pac-12 actually stays, they may find a new home with TNT because TNT they're missing out on basketball. That was a big loss, but if they can snatch a solid conference, I'm not going to say a great conference but a pretty solid conference on the West Coast that they can play games later on during the day that can fill those basketball slots.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, and if they can get a good crew together, like they did with inside the NBA, inside college football, maybe they can get, some really good former college players on there, or maybe even if Shaq and Charles actually want to just do college football, if that could be fun as well.
Well, Charles, he's got a pretty broad spectrum. He enjoys
hockey. And hell, he went to Auburn.
So
he knows a lot because the South, even though he was a basketball star, but Auburn is still football country. Bama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl, Auburn in Georgia, Deep South's oldest rivalry right there.
Yeah, I'll never forget the touchdown return, the field goal that was returned. I was at the airport watching that. The airport freaking exploded, and it was in Sacramento. I can only imagine what it was like back there.
Oh, that was a crazy game to watch. That one, and then the Cam Newton one.
Yep, for sure. Hey, last question for you. Rich is asking, who would be the team out of Connecticut? Wait, who would be the team out of Connecticut moves to the Big 12? What team out of Connecticut could move to the Big 12?
So again, UConn, their football program's not great.
They're on the rise.
They're on the rise. They may be able to. They have a very good basketball program. The travel there would be expensive if they move to a Big 12 or even a Pac-8, especially because the football is not making that much money, and obviously it's not like they're going to be bringing in like if they move to the old Pac-12, it might be feasible because you're going to play some home games where USC is going to come to town and bring in the money, or Oregon or Stanford or something, but would a Boise State at UConn game really bring in the money, or a Fresno State UConn?
Boise's travels. Well,
Boise's does travel, but does that bring in the TV as well?
I think so. There's always, going forward, because of the 12-team playoff in football now, there's going to be a lot more coverage around the group of 5. 100%. Who's going to be that team?
There will be a little bit more coverage there. And then also because by the time these teams move, we actually will be having a 14-team playoff at that point. So 12 team is only having a 2-year run. It will be 14 by the time this pack stuff will be settled. And they will still be they're going to be looking for teams. Probably we will be hearing about it by 2025. I think they're probably done for now. They hit their 4, big names that would say, hey, and then now they can start negotiating with 2 more teams, and then they can start hitting up the phones for TV deals.
Boom. There you go. Corn dog on it.
I think
corn dog. Sorry.
They hit their mission.
Cord Dog, how do you feel about there being another dog in the King's Court now? We have a chili dog now.
Hey, chili dogs are good too.
All right.
That's Sonic the Hedgehog's favorite food right
yeah,
there.
but like with the chili dogs, you got to do some onion, you got to do some tomatoes, some green onion, maybe even
cheese, obviously.
Some cheese, a dash of mustard, and some Tabasco. You almost turn the chili dog into like a quasi Chicago dog.
Oh, and there's some great chili dog places, man. I could go on about some places. Like there's this place out in Fremont called Dog House, but it's spelled like German style, so Haus, and they have a bunch of different customers.
Don't even start me. The best meal eating out that I had at Wisconsin was from a place. It's a fairly well-known place because of the Jim Rome show, the Lorelei. It's known for usually the drinking and stuff, but their food is freaking incredible. I was like, I got to get the classic German dinner. I'd never really had one. Had like the different types of bratwurst, had German potato salad, fried potato cakes, watching Thursday Night Football, eating that with all the different mustards. Dude. I'd fly back to Green Bay just to get that.
You're making me, you know what? I'm saving my vacation time. I'm going to book a Wisconsin trip.
Dude, I'm telling you, hey, for those that you know what? Do I have a picture here? I'll throw up how pretty. Oh, no, I'm not going to throw that one up. Never mind. You're not getting that one. So, all right, dude. Appreciate the call. Have a great weekend. By the way, I think Oregon loses this weekend.
The home team has won the last 5 Civil Wars, and so that is a very good indicator. Oregon State does not have anything to lose, so they can throw all their punches on this game. They can throw out the whole playbook. Oregon still has, a lot to lose. They have not been playing well, and they obviously want to save some of their playbook for Michigan and Ohio State later on.
They can't afford to save their playbook. They got to throw it on. They're not good enough to start doing that, in my opinion. But we'll see, dude. We'll talk on Monday. Can't wait. By the way, good reminder. Get your NFL picks in, by the way. Thanks, C-Dog.
Yep. All right.
Corn Dog hooking us up with the college football breakdown. Glad we got into the Pac-12 or the Pac-8, what they're trying to do, discussion. My SDSU Aztecs, can't wait for that move, by the way. A new era. San Diego deserves that. They so deserve that. They lost the Chargers. The basketball program, I don't want to say it's a powerhouse. It's more of a mid-major still. It is one of the best run programs in America. It really is. If you knew how that, it is. Take my word for it. But football program's on the rise. So good for them. They just built Snapdragon Stadium for the football team. So San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, and Fresno State headed to the Pac-12. We still got about 30 minutes of show left. Definitely want to hit on the Deshaun Watson situation. Also, don't forget, Grant and I, we're going to be back at 5:00 tonight, talking a lot more about NFL, talking a lot more about college football, probably get some A's talk in there, and taking your calls and questions. So join us back right here. And by the way, you're not going to see the shows scheduled. We've got a little YouTube bug that's working right now. We're working through the problem. We're just going to pop up live. So setting a reminder, or the best thing to do, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You can hit the notifications on there. That way, anytime we go live. And by the way, we are just about 40 days away from the Sacramento Kings home opener. You know what we do here on this station: pregame, halftime, and postgame. Every single game. Last year, Jerry joined us at halftime for most games. So we are gearing up. We've got new things planned. It is going to be a spectacular season. I promise you that. So make sure you're subscribed to get in on that. And also, definitely want to say a huge thank you to our sponsor today, Bennett's Westside Grill in Rockland. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com. Learn more about all their locations, 3 of them, Howe and Fair Oaks. Got the other one in Roseville, this one, the newest, in the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. Prime rib special all weekend. If you make it out, you know what? Why don't you go catch happy hour at Bennett's. There's sips and tastes. You can watch Grant and I on the run. You can play it at the bar. Hell, tell Brian or Margot, they'll throw it on the TV for you. They'll get some Apple TV and some streaming going. Let them know that you heard about them here on the show. You will not be disappointed. Prime cuts of seafood and steak. Also, don't forget weekend brunch. One of my favorites. Under $50, bottle of champagne, 2 entrees. Can't beat it. Beautiful weekend for brunch here in Sacramento. Huge thanks to Bennett's for sponsoring the show today. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com for more information, reservations, gift cards, and more. All right. Anybody that wants to get in on the show, now is the time. Uh-oh. I saw a comment in here earlier. Was there a horse sighting? Well, I do have my Deshaun Watson thing that I want to get to, but I wonder if I could have a responsible conversation with this gentleman about the Deshaun Watson thing. I don't know. He had some news break on national worldwide communications this week, which was pretty cool. Let's bring him in. Let's talk about it. Haunted Horse, where have you been? Uh-oh. No audio. No audio.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Haunted Horse. Should we keep him on the spot? Is he going to figure it out? Remember, he's got like 27 monitors, 3 mics, an entire studio. Look at that. You know, I could just play Haunted Horse sound drops right now. I'm not going to do that. We'll give him a second to figure it out. We'll come back to him. So let's get back to the comments really quick. Rich hopping in. Still wonder how much the Texans organization knew about the indiscretions. You know, it's a great question. You would really think when you have over 20 civil suits that have come out, you would think there would be some type of implication there. Or at least you would think Deshaun Watson's team at this point. And man, I promise you we're going to get to the Deshaun Watson stuff because I think it's really important. Y'all know I have a legal background, so I want to explain the significance of what the latest allegation could bring for both Deshaun, but also the Browns. But yeah, I guess we'll never know. Rich, I guess the counter would be that organization, they've done pretty damn well without him, but they did get, they sold high, didn't they, Rich? I see where you're going. I see it, my man. That's actually not a bad point. BJ, what's up, man? Corn Dog got into some volleyball for the uniforms. 100%. That's absolutely what Corn Dog does. Rich, commentary was the perfect example of why ESPN was commended for their coverage of Damar Hamlin's situation. Absolutely. They did it shifted from a professional sports game to a breaking news story like that, a human care, coverage where it's somebody that's fighting for, it was incredible. They did a good job pulling that together. And say what you want about them showing, not showing replays. That's always going to be a debate. I agree with you. I think they did a really good job. So remember, Grant and I are going to be back at 5:00 tonight. All right, let's give this. Oh, he is gone. He bounced. Did we get Haunted Horse out of there that easy? All right, let's get to Deshaun Watson really quick while Haunted Horse is getting it figured out. I do want to talk about this. Here is Mike Florio with a statement from Deshaun Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, on the latest allegation that has been made against Deshaun Watson.
This is an incident that allegedly occurred October 10 of 2020. Because of the allegation of sexual assault, Texas law applies a 5-year statute of limitations. So the window was still open for the case to be filed. It took a couple of days, but his attorney, Rusty Hardin, who has been representing him since the first lawsuit was filed in March of 2021, issued a statement yesterday strongly denying the allegations made. We've asked him not to comment further while this matter works its way through the courts, but we are comfortable he will ultimately be vindicated. We will be ready to defend his case in court at the appropriate time, but we don't intend to conduct our defense in the media. We'd ask that people be patient while the legal process runs its course. In the meantime, Deshaun is going to focus his energy and concentration on football. And that is predictable.
That is predictable, although the football side of things is not much better for Deshaun Watson right now and the Browns. So here's what's significant about this latest case that has been filed against Deshaun Watson. It's a civil case, and many are saying that it is possibly the worst of the over 20 civil suits. Now, the NFL, you're going to get some legal rhino here for a second. The NFL does not have subpoena power. And this is why it's important. That means the victim does not have to participate in any type of NFL investigation. They don't. It is a choice if they want to participate. Now, for those that missed out, the NFL is resuming an investigation on Deshaun Watson on this case. Remember, when the initial case, when they did them all together, the judge was very clear that she did not find Deshaun's deniable plausibility believable. She didn't. And so as part of Deshaun's new contract, as part of the agreement with his suspension, Deshaun needed to disclose any other cases that may be looming out there. Now, the reason I bring that up is because Deshaun said, no, there's no other cases. This is all I know of, right? Well, when this latest case hit the media, and by the way, allegedly, there's also a video involved. The plaintiff's attorney claims through multiple media outlets that there is a video. So I don't know if it's a video of the actions. I don't know if it's a video from that night. I don't know if it's a video that has nothing to do with the investigation, but they have put that out there. So anyways, getting back to this, both with Deshaun's punishment with the NFL, which could be significant if he did know about a case, but also his contract with the Cleveland Browns. As part of that contract, he had to say that there were no other known cases out there. I bring this up and I circle back because when this case came out and it hit the media, there's reports from the attorney for the plaintiff that Deshaun's counsel and Deshaun declined to settle this case. Think about that for a second. If they declined to settle this case, then somebody knew about this case. Unless the attorney's not being truthful, which I doubt you're going to put your bar license on the line for that, but maybe. I don't know. So what you have here is a massively high stakes game of poker because somebody is lying or somebody has liability here. And somebody is going to face the consequences, whether it is Deshaun's attorney who didn't tell his client about this case. If what Deshaun says, that he had no knowledge of any other cases out there, if that is true, that would mean his attorney didn't talk to him about this case and didn't tell him that there was another case out there. So there's a conflict there between them. They've got to figure that out. Now, however, if it is proven that Deshaun knew about this case, it's possible the Browns could go after the remainder of his contract up to $92 million. And that's not even talking about the money he would miss out on if there's any type of suspension, discipline from the NFL. So this is a situation to certainly keep your eye on I would keep a very close eye on, especially if you are a Cleveland Browns fan, because this has the potential to blow up very quickly. And I can promise you, after the NFL went through the entire process they did before this and issued the punishment they did for the previous civil cases, they are not going to be messing around with this one. So the fact that the attorney, the fact that for the plaintiff, the fact that the plaintiff is going to participate in the investigation for the NFL, which is completely separate, 100% separate than the investigation or the lawsuit that's going on, then this is something that could end Deshaun Watson's career ultimately. And I'm not, I'm talking football side of things right now. I guess I'm talking life side too, to a degree, because I'm talking about him and his attorney, but I'm not going to get into the weeds here. What I'm saying is somebody here is not telling the truth. And Deshaun Watson, strictly from a football standpoint, I'm going to stay away from the civil things and the things he's accused of. He has struggled since being in Cleveland. He has not been very good since being in Cleveland. He's looked lost since being in Cleveland. Certainly week one, I understand he lost his father. That is, I can't imagine. Condolences on that. But he, even if this guy bounces back, can you really cheer for this guy? I'm having a hard time with it. And here's the other thing. We're not yet, as Mike Florio stated, we're not up to the statute of limitations for a civil case of this nature in Texas. So if there's any more accusers out there that are in Texas, there is still time for complaints to be filed. So who knows? Maybe somebody else comes forward. Maybe they don't. But it's a big problem for Deshaun Watson. And there is a lot of money at stake right now for both him and his reputation. Call it what you want to call it at this point. I think it's ruined, but some people may feel differently. His reputation, if you think it's still intact, is now also at stake again. All right, let's bring in, let's see if he got this figured out. We're gonna let him end the show. Haunted Horse, are you there?
I am.
Wow, you gotta
check this out. So I went into my settings.
I don't need a 30-minute.
Yeah, it's gonna be 30 seconds or less.
Right.
I went into my settings and it literally didn't have my microphone, so I had to go in, delete it out of the drivers, reinstall it, reboot the computer. So I had a Windows update last night and it dumped my mic. So there you go.
It dumped your mic.
It wasn't even listed in the microphones to choose. It was trying to use a microphone from the same camera. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, us Mac users, we don't have problems like that.
Yeah, right.
Just saying.
Right. Yep. So anyway, but what was weird is it was lit. So I'm like, didn't make sense. I'm playing with a USB cord. Anyway, it is what it is. Welcome to the world of broadcasting.
Indeed. What's up, man? It's been a while since you've been here. What's been going on?
Yeah, that's right. You know what? Your Wisco trip seems like it was like a month ago.
It's only been a week.
I know.
Just got home.
I know.
A week ago today. I
But
would
for
have
me,
just
it feels
been
like
walking
you've
through
been
the
back
door.
for a month because
Yeah.
you know I did 3 shows with you, and seems like it's all back to normal. So just I don't know if you've talked about this yet, but I read that Christian McCaffrey they're possibly going to put him on IR for 4 weeks.
It's on the table.
Yeah, tendonitis in the Achilles, and you don't mess around with the Achilles.
Nope.
Shanahan said he had his most painful practice today, so you're trending the wrong direction. They need to shut him down. And I just want to anyone that has that guy on their fantasy team, I just want to give it an announcement that you might be wanting to look for someone else. I don't know if anyone I know has him, but
sure. Well, my starting running back is Jordan Mason.
Did you get him?
Yes.
That's nice because I've got him, but I pulled him out of another league a week ago when he was just a bench player. but I saw McCaffrey was questionable, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stash this guy because I know he's awesome. Because
No doubt.
I watched the Niners, and sure enough, I'm going to be starting him this weekend. So there you go.
So really quick, since we are talking a little bit of fantasy,
yes.
and anybody that wants to come up, the link is in the chat right now. You can come join us on screen. It's our Royal Rumble Friday, but we're talking about separate fantasy. That's separate from our Pro Pick'em League. You are welcome, and we would love to have you in that league. The information's right there. Grant and I are putting it on for the 3rd season. We've got 2 different $100 gift cards for the winner, completely free. All you're doing is picking every game against the spread. So you're going to be down week 1. You didn't get week 1 in, but you can get the rest of the season in, and we'd love to have you. So get in there if you're not there already. A lot of you are. I know that. So thank you.
I forgot this link. I know I picked the first 2 weeks in case I forgot, so I wouldn't end up scrubbed. But I was going to ask you for that information because I signed up like a month ago, so I forgot about it. But I picked the first 2 weeks because I know myself. I'll forget. So
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. We're starting to get the chats. The chats are coming in. Patrick, my real man of genius. He is off the clock. And yes, the Royal Rumble just started. Patrick, get in here, man. What are Derek's out of the woodwork?
Get in here, Royal
now.
Rumblies.
Here we go. Now the comments are picking up. I like it.
Picking up.
Bane, audio, not getting any. And Bane's
Bane
not
is
wrong.
here.
Bane.
Bingo.
I agree, Mark. He's never sounded better.
Right. Hey,
he's the
let's
master of audio.
You think I sounded
Bingo.
good then? I
Bingo.
can sound better. Check this out.
Yes, that's what we like. BJ, Deshaun Watson contract will be null and void after all the dust settles. I'm kind of with you. I'm not ready to make that statement official, but yes, I'm kind of with you.
I don't know. Rome pointed out a real good reason when he had a legal analyst on today that the Players Association is going to fight that tooth and nail because it's the first 100% guaranteeing contract, and they do not want to take a step backwards. They are going to fight that, and he said they have a good chance of maybe stopping that.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure that those two aren't mutually exclusive. Like, I get that the contract would be rescinded, but at the same time, it'd be, to me, it's the equivalent of taking Reggie Bush's Heisman Trophy, right?
But they think it's precedent setting that it gives a team, they can offer guaranteed contracts knowing in the back of their mind if they can just create enough noise, they can void their obligations to pay it all. You know, if the player's not that good. So anyway, the PA is gonna NFL Players Association is gonna be really pushing back on that. Notice there's not been a guaranteed contract since that one was made. You just had Dak, you just had all these receivers. No one's getting a 100% guaranteed contract. He's the only one.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to see one like that for a really long time. But what you are seeing is the amount of money that's being guaranteed. It's creeped way up to 221, you know?
Yeah.
So that changes things. Do you want to talk about your announcement that you made on Worldwide?
Boy,
Media?
if I only had the audio from that, I know we don't have it available. So let's talk about it in the future when we can find some audio if it's available somewhere.
Well, lucky for you, Bane, I'm going to give everybody a few seconds, okay? I know Haunted Horse makes the chat pop. He's a hot topic of conversation. You guys like to poke fun at him. You guys have made jokes in the chat about this before, and he's denied it. But this dude went on Worldwide
Three
Media.
Marriages. We have not made a joke about this before.
Worldwide Media, and announced this.
Haunted Double O Horse. Jim, I also fathered an illegitimate child.
There it is. You have a child.
What? I don't remember saying that.
You told Jim Rome you have a child, my man.
Tweet. I was hacked, like Shannon Sharp says. I was hacked. Someone hacked my X account.
I'm just saying, for what it's worth. Rich Deshaun Watson conversation. You know, It could be, they could. My guess is you'd probably know about it. The reporters are definitely digging around there. Let's get through these really quick. Looking forward to the D-Fox pair. I did not look at them yet. I believe Olden Polonese was the last one. You guys are having your own chat there. Love it. Damn, I wish I got a pair of OPs. There you go. All right. Very good. Derek says LOL. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
It's shocking. And you know what? Jim Rome's never wrong. I mean, he's a nationally he's got 30-year reputation to stand on. He's not going to say that if it's not true.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should send that to. Is World Star still around?
Shocking.
I thought they went away with MySpace.
MySpace. Oh my gosh. Let's since we haven't got the Royal Rumble started, anyone out there, you guys need to get on here. It's the Royal Rumble.
I yelled it out. We've got 8 minutes left in the show. If you want to get on screen, get on screen.
I need corn dog. I need chili dog. I need, what's the other dog? There's a sea dog, something dog, sea dog, something.
Yeah.
We need all the dogs.
So let's talk some football since you're here really quick.
Yeah,
what game other than the 49ers are you looking forward to the most this weekend?
So I just made all my DraftKings bets for the weekend. The games I'm looking forward to, the games I have bets on. So I took a bet on the Jets winning, and so is a Safeway card. Right, BJ. Someone stole my $20 of Safeway points. Someone is out to get me. So the Jets game, they looked horrible on Monday. And this isn't an excuse for me to talk about how the Niners looked awesome, but they looked horrible on Monday. I look for them to rebound against a Titans team that choked away a 17-point lead to Chicago. And Will Levi's or Levies or whatever the hell he wants to be called, Wranglers, Will Wranglers, he threw a pick six in that game when they were up by 2 scores. So I took the Jets defense, which I think is much better than they looked on Monday.
Okay.
To go pick six. So I've got the Jets defense scoring a pick six. I've got the Jets winning.
Going to be good
on the money line. I don't feel good enough to go 3.5 points, but I went money line Jets, defense getting a touchdown, and I believe Breece Hall getting a touchdown. If that hits, I get like $245.
Dennis says Titans are getting a top safety back. Okay, I am super fired up. He does not always join the Royal Rumble. Patrick's here, my man.
What's up, Patrick?
From Long Island.
Long Island?
Yes, I'm doing my John impersonation. I got a beard going.
Love it,
nice.
Dude. You're looking great.
Nice.
How you doing
Long
today,
Island,
buddy?
So what football team do you like?
The Giants.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you're playing the command. Are you playing? What is Washington called? Commanders now.
Yes.
It's only a 2-point spread. You have a chance.
Yeah, why not? You know, it always looks good on paper until you have to play them. You know.
Right. I bet you wish you could trade quarterbacks, get their stud, and trade off Danny dimes.
It's a little early. We'll
right.
see.
You have hope for Danny.
Daniels play one game.
Yeah, last year.
A little early. So anyway, I want to wish you guys a happy Friday.
Thank you.
Happy Friday.
You as well, buddy.
Yeah, well, at the clock, I'm sitting in the car.
Nice.
Well done. Well,
I love that New York accent.
I show you a sunset, but it's out of the picture, unfortunately. You know, we're getting dark already over here, so you know.
Yes,
I hear it. I get it. I was in Wisco last week. We were 2-hour time difference.
Oh, that's awesome. You had a good time?
Oh, it was incredible.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great, you know.
Freaking incredible.
Anyway, I don't have much to say, but the only thing I would say is Al Michaels is very disappointing.
Yep.
With his commentary yesterday. I totally agree with Grant on his podcast today. He's very nonchalant when he calls a football game. I'm very disappointed with him. I don't know. Maybe he's taking the Amazon money. He's taking it easy, but he has no enthusiasm for the game, especially when he called his last NBC game when the Jacksonville was coming back, and he showed no enthusiasm. And even last night when Buffalo got their first interception, he was like, "Oh, they missed. Nah, they got the interception. I was wrong." You know, so I don't know what they're paying him for, but I'm very disappointed with Al Michaels. And that's all I got to say.
Well, Patrick, go back and listen to this about 20, 30 minutes into the show. I didn't know Grant did his podcast on it today. I ripped Al Michaels, not for a little bit for the enthusiasm, but how he handled the Tua situation. I thought it was garbage.
Yeah, I didn't even watch that long. I didn't realize he was very nonchalant about the Tua situation also.
Yeah, well, they've got a few extra days so he can pass protocol. He said it numerous times, like he's completely out of touch. So we're on the same page there, buddy.
Even Kirk was all upset about him getting the concussion, and Al didn't seem to care, which was
didn't give a crap. He cared about the kickoffs, though. He really cared about the kickoffs.
Oh, they're terrible, the kickoffs. I have not been impressed so far with this new kickoff situation.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, brother.
Hey, guys, have a good night. Thanks for the
All
time.
right. Thanks, Patrick.
Later,
Nailing
Patrick.
it.
I love the accent.
That's why we do the Royal Rumble. I love that Patrick called in. That is incredible.
So, real quick on the kickoffs, my opinion is this: I would rather have this than have them get rid of them altogether, which is what they were talking about doing, and just starting with the ball on the 25. I like to see a potential kickoff return for a touchdown, which we saw over the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll take this over none.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not that big of a deal to me. I'm a little bit where you can insert some player safety, where like if you could take a really dangerous play out of the game and still make that play somewhat interesting, I'm okay with that. And that's what the kickoff is. Basically, what you're doing is the kicker has turned more like a golfer. Their specialty now is trying to get those shots in. It's been like that for a while with the punters trying to get the ball to spin. They kick it different ways. But yeah, you know what? Let's run down these chats, and I'm going to let you plug stuff, and we're going to get up out of here. BJ, 20 effing dollars should go to your illegitimate child from your fifth marriage.
Wow, I'm on 5 now. Ooh.
Yeah.
I better tell wife number 3. There's 2 more coming.
Yeah. Patrick getting some love. Dennis, Rhino, who is Seattle losing to? I see my running back Walter. Walker is out. Lonnie Walker. Yeah.
Not Pittsburgh.
Or not Lonnie Walker. Excuse me. Kenneth Walker.
Who's Seattle playing? Not Pittsburgh. They're playing. I just had that in my bets.
Yeah, I'm going to be real with you. I have not paid a ton of attention to the Seahawks because I know we're pretty much we got the Patriots. That's right.
That should be a win.
Well, the Patriots are young. They got a new coach. They're not very.
How are you guys
good,
against the run? Because that's all they're going to do.
The
with
defense
Ramondre.
is good. The defense played well last week.
Okay,
so.
Stevens they're going to try to run him down your throat. So
yeah. Niners 33 got it. Al wants violence. Yeah, he's.
Well, I don't think we're going to win that much against Minnesota.
Mark, New England. Yeah, I think that it will be all right. Baki, we're going to get you in here really quick, and then we are going to get out in a second. Baki, what's up, dude? Welcome to the Rumble.
So, hey, Baki.
Yo. Long time. How are you two? Great duo.
Good. How are you doing? Hello. I haven't seen you since the Olympics.
Well, I'm getting rest for all the sports, so getting ready for the NBA. You know how it is with me. I wanna miss everything, so I'm gonna be prepared for what it is, October 24th, like that, something like that.
24th, Timberwolves. Can't wait.
Nice. Is that your opener?
Yeah.
And that's October?
Yep.
Nice.
And well, the season is when is the season start? 22nd or
22nd.
Like
Timberwolves play the first night of the season as well.
You get them on a back-to-back?
No, they've got a night off in between.
Oh, okay. Where is it at? Is it there or here?
Here.
Nice. Good. Mm-hmm. That's a good game to start off with.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Baki, do you have safe travels? I know you were traveling this week.
Yeah, everything was great. I catch the first week of the NFL, so I can tell you what I do always, or what I did always. I always picking something in the first round. I mean, in the week number 1. So I try to bet and what happened? So I tried to score some bets. So I was crazy when I was losing only on Bengals. So I was so disappointed because I had maybe 8 or 9 in the total. So I got them all of it. So only Bengals put me out. So I
You
was
had
very
an 8 or
disappointed.
9 game parlay, and the Bengals cost you losing to the Patriots.
Yeah,
Really?
they cost me a
Oh,
lot.
that's
They cost me.
horrible. That would have paid nice.
It was the lowest or odd on all the pairs I got. So it was like something
Yeah,
you
8
get
points,
you
I
get
think.
you get 25 for 400. So that was the
Oh,
odd. So I was
wow.
crazy. I said, but the Bengals was the first one I picked. So I was
Wow.
unbelievable. Say, what are guys doing? I saw.
Wow. So
I waited
close.
so much to
That
see, and
that's
when I saw
still
they had a chance to win the
I
game
like what's going
to
on
the
behind Baki, though. I like what's going on behind you, Baki. What's up with that? I
Yeah,
mean,
Hey,
that's getting pretty good.
listen, this is 113th time I'm watching this movie. This is a Friday the 13th.
what
Oh,
is it?
Friday the 13th. Nice.
Okay. Love it. Dennis, we are not going to be doing a fantasy basketball league. If you all would like to do one, do it. But basketball season around here, a lot going on. Our focus is going to be on the Kings. And I know all the fans, your folks is going to be there too, but we don't have time to do fantasy basketball, unfortunately. So, Baki, that's still a great accomplishment, my man, to almost hit a parlay
Missed
like
out on
that.
one?
That's
That's
hard.
hard.
That is really
Yes.
hard. So
Yeah,
good
it
job
was.
by you.
I was surprised. I was really surprised, but something. And last night, when Grant said it's gonna be a home game with the Dolphins gonna win, I was very. I don't know. I saw Bills gonna be hard to beat last night, and that happened. So looks like this season I'm gonna stick to NFL more than ever.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought I had Miami winning as well. I didn't think the Bills, the receiving on the Bills, but they ran it. They ran it 3 touchdowns for Cook. I mean, you don't need to throw the ball when you got Cook running for 3 touchdowns. So
Amen.
No,
Amen.
I don't want to sound like I know something more than you guys, but some kind of feeling about the last night and the opening night as well, and the game in Mexico. I was somehow very sure that they're gonna win it. So Bills were great last night.
Yep, I took the Bills as well. All right, we're gonna get out.
wait, it's the best part of the movie. What do you mean we're gonna get out of here?
This is
This guy
unbelievable.
take it over. Yeah, we're gonna get out because Grant and I are gonna be back at 5 o'clock. So we're gonna let it breathe for a little bit. Everybody have a little break. Baki,
I can't reach for the remote right now. It's far
okay.
away.
Yeah,
funny
okay,
thing I've ever
Baki, I love
seen.
you. You're out.
It's hilarious.
I had to throw him over the top rope. All right.
I mean, you were getting ready to get a YouTube violation there. I mean, I think that's rated
I
R.
focused on so many different things. I wasn't looking.
I was staring at that. Are you
Oh
kidding?
my gosh. My Baki, love you, dude. That's
The
the
only
King's Court
regret
for
I
you.
have is that Grant isn't here because I would love to see what Grant's reaction would have
There
been.
wasn't anything showing, right?
No. I would have said, dude. But I don't know the movie that well. I don't think there was a nude scene there. Anyway,
Kevin, happy
birthday.
birthday, buddy.
Nice.
Happy birthday, man. Hope you have a great weekend.
Absolutely.
It's awesome, my man. That's all right. Kevin, if you want to get in really quick, we could do it really quick. I got to get out by 45 past, though.
I'll keep my mouth shut. So
at the
Kevin can
latest. So if you want to come in, we will do. Yeah, Baki, living it up in the chat. Happy birthday
dump me
from
if you want to
Jason.
go. If you want to get Kevin in here real quick, just dump me. That's fine.
I'm probably gonna get you out in a second. I got you. All right. Well, cool. What do you got? I know what you got going tonight. Tell everyone. Well, actually,
Well,
you're
I can't
competing.
because someone
Yeah.
I would be going head to head with one of my best friends that decided to pick my time slot to go live.
Yep. There you go. Well, I didn't.
Right.
I did not pick your time
It's
slot.
all
I roll with the punches around
if
here.
I can't tease you about it, then it's not any fun.
No doubt. Yeah, we'll give Kevin some love. All right, well, where can people find your content?
HollywoodRejects.com. There's links there for everything and links for the merchandise.
There you go.
Ooh, you can look just like me.
That was spooky. Get out of here. Oh my goodness. What a Friday. Kevin, man, seriously, happy birthday. Happy 53rd. Hope you spend it doing what you love with the people you love, my man. Very cool. Be thinking about you this weekend. Which day is it this week? Is it today, Kevin, or is it this weekend? Which one? I'll send you out a tweet. I think I follow you. If I don't, I'll find you. So, what a fun show. We're going to be back, by the way. It's been a fun week. What a great week back. I got to say, this has been a very, very good week. And we're going to be back, Grant and I, tonight, 5 o'clock. Make sure that you are here. We're going to be getting you ready for football. There's a lot to talk about. Certainly the Tua situation. I'm sure we'll get into that. Al Michaels, we'll get into that. I had no idea Grant did his rant on that. That's one thing. You got to make sure that you are subscribed so you know these things. I'm subscribed too, but go to grantnapier.com if you don't like that.com. That's where you can find all of Grant's audio work. And then, of course, all of the shows that Grant and I do together go up on that website as well. You can find it on Spotify and Apple as well, other places that you find your podcasts. And then you know about the King's Court. We are ramping back up audio-wise, not just the Daily Show, which is in full swing right now, but audio. You're going to get your exclusives on in the mornings, morning shoot-arounds, and we're back at it. This is, to me, we're in season already. This is preseason, getting focused, really excited. Grant and I have big plans for this basketball season, so make sure that you are paying attention to both of us. And again, we're going to be back tonight, 5 o'clock. Would love to have you back. Man, what a fun day. Heavy subject matter, but I really thought we had a really productive conversation about Tua. Very productive conversation about Deshaun Watson, Al Michaels, etc. So love y'all. You guys know that. Make sure, again, you'll get some definite audio from me this weekend. But first, before that, tonight, 5 p.m., Grant and I will be right back here. The show is not going to be scheduled, okay? If you go to YouTube, it's not going to say Grant and Ryan at 5 p.m., but when 5 p.m. rolls around, make sure you're following. If you don't like that, it will pop up on YouTube and X. Will be here for probably about 45 minutes, hanging out with you and also taking your calls. Appreciate it, Horse. Appreciate it, BJ. Definitely, Baki. Appreciate it. Hey, we'll end with this. Happy birthday, Kevin. 53 years young, dude. Love it. And yes, make it a great weekend, by the way. Be safe. Have fun. And enjoy football. Week 2 of the NFL. Can't wait for that. And can't wait to be back with all of you here in about an hour and 20 minutes. Grant and I will be hooking up to get you ready for the weekend, 5 p.m. right here on If You Don't Like That. Thanks for tuning in. Baki, I got Tadora right here. She has something to say.
Holy moly, Jimbo.
There we go. Go Kings. Light the damn beam. Happy 53rd, Kevin. Hope you have a great weekend. Court is dismissed.